Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat via Zoom. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce. I'm so excited to have Dr. Scott Sigmund here. He's here to talk about OrthoLazer, but I'm going to let you kick it off because your signature line alone, I feel like there should be a band marching in on all the different things that you're involved in.
Well, first of all, Danielle, I'm a huge fan. You're doing an awesome job for Lowell and the surrounding communities, and you have amazing spirit, and it's just awesome to have someone like yourself who's in charge and really as our spokesperson out there. So thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so I guess for all those that know me well, I usually have my little tagline, which is I like to consider myself the original opioid-sparing orthopedic surgeon, healer of knees and shoulders, left and right, #FollowTheFro, host of the Ortho Show podcast, chief medical officer and founder of OrthoLazer, Orthopedic Laser Centers, as well as a partner at Orthopedic Surgical Associates in North Chelmsford that everybody knows us so well. Great to be on. Thank you so much.
Great to have you here. You see, I couldn't have done that justice, so thank you for taking it away. #FollowTheFro.
#FollowTheFro. There you go.
So let's talk about the benefit of OrthoLazer to our community.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that, the opioid crisis has really become the forgotten epidemic inside of a worldwide pandemic. It still exists. We still have way too many people who are losing lives and just being so dramatically affected by the addictive potential of opioids. And that's really where OrthoLazer was born, really seeking out an alternative option for our patients for injury, pain and inflammation, for potentially post-surgical to reduce pain and inflammation to try and avoid opioids. And then even for the chronic inflammatory conditions such as arthritis and tendonitis, these things that many times patients were actually being prescribed opioids for these long-standing, chronic conditions. So the great benefit to the community is to provide this alternative treatment option. It's safe, it's painless, there's no medications, there's no injections, you can't feel it. And literally at the end of the day, this laser sends light energy, into your cells and creates a healing response. So I have a question for you, because I always get this. People are always like, what is this laser thing? How does it work? Is it hocus pocus? And so the first question I always ask everybody, I say, Danielle, do you believe in photosynthesis?
Yes.
Of course you do, right? It was taught in high school.
I was taught that like so many years ago.
Right, but it's not a trick question. It was like, photos. It's like the sun comes out and the grass grows, and we have to go out and cut it. Right, that's photosynthesis. And so, there's this other thing called, vitamin D, which is so important, right, for us to have strong bones. Well, the active metabolite of vitamin D only happens when you're in sunlight. You have to be out in the sun for the vitamin D to get converted. So I always say to all of the people that are skeptical or their first question, I'm like, it shouldn't come as a surprise that a species living on a planet that has a sun, in our deepest genetic code, we would be sensitive to light. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. The cells inside of your body are sensitive to the light, and the light energy, if you give them the right light energy, creates a very powerful anti-inflammatory that helps to reduce pain and inflammation, allowing people to be more mobile and just have less discomfort. It's really cool.
It is so cool. The way that you described it, I'm thinking it's a no-brainer. Why doesn't everybody that has any condition that can be treated through OrthoLazer take advantage of this?
Yeah, well, we're definitely growing, that's for sure. I mean, we have 9 centers that are open across the country, another 23 that have also signed up, and they're just calling us left and right at this point. So we're really excited, to work with like-minded orthopedic surgeons and doctors out there that are really, thinking about alternative treatment options for their patients other than, for example, opioids, which are so highly addictive.
And I'm sure years ago, if somebody was prescribed opioids, they wouldn't have thought twice about it. But now with the epidemic and everybody's been touched by that, I'm sure they're more hesitant to even take them, even if they're prescribed.
You're 100% right. So what's happening is that the patients are now seeking out alternative treatment options because they know they've got a brother, a sister, or a colleague who succumbed to the opioid epidemic. And we're doing so much better. We're educating our doctors, letting them know that there's options out there. We educate the patients as well to let them know that they have options. And they're really very appreciative to know that we've done the research behind this, that the basic science of how laser works is really well documented. The clinical studies are becoming more and more, apparent as well. Almost on a daily basis, there's new improved clinical studies that have come out. So, it's very comforting to know that, we're providing this really great service to our community and providing this alternative treatment option.
Really exciting. So you mentioned some of the conditions that OrthoLazer can treat. Do you want to touch a little bit more on that?
Sure. I mean, it's, so there are really sort of three ways in which we use the laser. First is for acute injuries. So, if your daughter or son sprains their ankle and they normally would be out for 6 weeks, we can laser them with 6 sessions and typically they're healed 50% faster. If you
Wow.
have a broken bone, if your grandmother who's 75 years of age breaks her wrist and she's in terrible pain, we can laser her wrist. And literally within a week, she'll have dramatic pain relief where she can avoid taking the opioids. If you tear your hamstring, any of these sort of sports related injuries that we all do now, again, since the pandemic is sort of is waning at this point, we're all back out there having injuries and such. So acute injuries, one of my favorite ways to use it is perioperatively, right? Because what is surgery? It's an injury that we create where we know that there's going to be healing. And so the same processes that create inflammation, pain, and bruising for an acute injury happens during surgery too. So we'll laser patients in the perioperative window. We're reducing their pain and inflammation, faster return of function. They can avoid the opioids. And then the third and final way is for all the things that hurt that we don't have a great answer for, right? So arthritis or tennis elbow or plantar fasciitis, neck arthritis or carpal tunnel. These things are these chronic inflammatory conditions where we're having an 80% success rate in reducing overall pain by at least 50% in our patients. So our safety is impeccable. Our laser's been around for over 10 years. It's a pulsed laser, so it doesn't generate significant heat energy. You don't have to worry about anything burning or anything like that. You can't even hear it, feel it, or see it. It just sort of happens. But what I always tell everybody, it's like lasers like Weight Watchers. You just can't go for one session and expect to lose the weight. So you got to go for the 10 sessions to allow the laser to really create that new environment of reducing inflammation and pain.
I thought you were going to say that you got Oprah as your spokesperson.
Yeah, no, not yet, but she's coming. She doesn't know it yet.
Awesome.
Love it, love it.
Are OrthoLazer treatments covered by insurance?
Yeah, unfortunately not. Despite the fact that the science is growing on a daily basis, it's still not recognized by Medicare or any of the commercial payers. And we recognize that, having to pay out of pocket for medical treatments, people have expenses. So we really try to minimize, the overall cost. And it's normally, $60 a treatment. In the summertime, we're coming out, we've actually dropped it down to $50 a treatment. So, it's like a copay for physical therapy or, I hate to say it, but, maybe you get your nails done or whatnot. But this is for something that's going to help you to heal, to have less pain and discomfort moving forward. So we set the price so that most people can afford it. And that's really what we're trying to do.
That's incredible. And I'm sure with the pandemic too, there's people that are coming in with all these types of, pains in your neck and just from sitting on the computer all the time. So that's a small price to pay. We talk about self-care all the time.
That's
Feeling
right.
good is like the ultimate self-care.
Yeah, no, I mean, people are used to it now. There's PPOs and high deductibles and co-pays that people are used to paying. So, we want to provide them a solution that's reasonably affordable. And when it works, I mean, it's a small price to pay to be able to walk around without pain and discomfort. And what's great about the laser is that there's no toxicity. It's not like a cortisone shot where, you can't do that two or three times a year. Or if you take Motrin, you may hurt your kidneys or your liver. I mean, there's zero toxicity. And then the longevity of care, it's indefinite. There are people that undergo treatment for osteoarthritis of their knee, and they don't come back for another year because they've had pain relief for an entire year, which is really quite remarkable. And so then they can come back for maintenance treatments, for additional laser treatment to prevent them from having recurrent pain. We've got a lot of great Lowellians and Chelmsford people that come in and bring donuts and coffee every day so that they can come and get their laser treatment. So there are a lot of regulars, which is awesome. We love it.
How long does it take for treatment?
Yeah, great question. Most of the treatments are done within 10 minutes. And literally you put on your protective eyewear, you take a 10-minute nap, maybe 12 minutes, and then you get up and you walk out. And the team over there with Aaron, who's our office manager, we're just highly efficient. They do great work over there. They're incredibly personable. We get so many compliments on the team, and I say to our technicians that I say, look, you guys are the healing angels. You're the face of healing for these patients. What a remarkable job. They're very, very pleased to have the opportunity.
Yeah, I'll give Erin a shout out. She's great.
There you go. Yes, good for Erin.
So let's go back to COVID. I feel like all roads lately, conversations lead to COVID. Can you talk a little bit about successes you've had using OrthoLazer to treat COVID?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really remarkable story. This was back in April, a year ago. The world did not need a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon. We were put on the sideline. We weren't operating. We weren't doing much. We were staying home as was everybody else. And the idea came to me. I said, the laser really works so well on acute inflammation. And everybody, I just kept hearing this cytokine storm and acute inflammation gone haywire. And it just sort of bell rang off in my head. And I said, what if we tried the laser for COVID? So I went to the hospital, Lowell General, and I went to the IRB, which is the Institutional Review Board, and requested, I said, I'll donate my laser. Let's just get it in there and try to laser people. They said, well, we don't know much about laser here, Scott, so we're going to need some guidance from the FDA. So I said, okay, I guess we're going to call the FDA.
I'm not busy right now.
They called me back 6 hours later. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Mike McAuliffe, who's over at Lowell General Hospital, is in charge of research, was instrumental in making that happen. And literally 6 hours later, we got a call back from the FDA, and we sent them the specs of the laser. Remember, my laser was already FDA cleared, but it really wasn't used for lungs or COVID. So they basically gave us a low risk assessment, went back to the IRB. They gave us a thumbs up. We were going to do 20 patients. We ended up doing 10 just because there's some limitations on equipment and nursing staff. But of the 5 patients that received laser, all 5 of them healed remarkably quickly within a 4 to 5 day window. Their chest x-rays improved. They clinically got better. They have no long-term pulmonary sequelae. Their inflammatory markers improved. It was really remarkable. It took us a year, but we actually got the paper published in the Journal of Inflammation Research. It's peer-reviewed, and it's getting international, acclaim. I get calls from doctors from Brazil and Croatia and India who are looking and searching out our protocols, which we've given them. They've validated those protocols, and they've seen great success. So I continue to hope in the US that there's still sort of skeptics that are out there with regards to laser, but I'm hoping that an academic institution, especially with the Delta variant of COVID that's out now, would still be interested. And then remarkably, it was our success stories with acute COVID that several of the nurses at Lowell General had developed this chronic long hauler syndrome, which it's these unexplained pulmonary symptoms. Their tests are all normal. They're tried on traditional treatments, whether it's inhalers or steroids, and nothing was getting them better. And they were having symptoms for a year. They were otherwise healthy people. They couldn't even walk up and down the stairs. And so, we offered it to a few of those nurses, and unbelievably, the response has been remarkable. 10 to 15 treatments, and they're back to normal. They haven't been able to breathe for a year, and they're completely asymptomatic. They got their lives back. And so we're really excited. We're putting together another IRB study. I mean, what the hell is an orthopedic surgeon doing a study on pulmonary disease of COVID, but no one else will do it. So I guess I have to. But so we're excited that we're going to do another study now on the chronic long haulers. We'll try to get that paper published, and we'll be able to get the word out again that the laser really is a very powerful anti-inflammatory and can have profound effects on these chronic inflammatory conditions.
That is fascinating. What I find just so enticing is that you don't have to, it eliminates having to take pills. Who wants to pop a pill every day and put a pill into your system if you don't have to?
And for these people in particular, for chronic COVID, it wasn't even working. I mean, they weren't getting success. And the doctors were all just sort of hands up in the air, and they're doing the best that they can, but they just didn't have the treatment options. So, it's hard. That's my job as the chief medical officer and founder of OrthoLazer, is to educate the world, especially in the United States, about the safety and efficacy of laser treatment for these inflammatory conditions. So I will continue on that message. And thank you so much, Danielle, for giving me the opportunity here to spread the word here, even locally again. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I love having you here. I'm picturing almost you like being like a Ghostbuster with like a backpack on with your laser, and you're like, I can fix this.
Just put me on the top of that station wagon and let's rock and roll.
So can you mention one more time where your current locations are and your plans to open up additional locations?
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So the first franchise in the world was right here in Chelmsford at 227 Chelmsford Street in the world.
A little celebratory reaction.
Exactly. So yeah, we've been open for a little over 2.5 years now. We had a store open in Portsmouth, New Hampshire that's doing terrific. Nashua, New Hampshire is going to be opening soon. We've got inquiries now down in Fall River as well as in Boston. We're open in Milwaukee. Dallas, Texas is opening shortly. We're open in Atlanta. Detroit's opening soon. So, I mean, the just expansion is really remarkable. It's, fortunately, the efficacy and the safety of the lasers doing the talking. These doctors that are innovative and thought leaders are recognizing that this treatment works. And then the patients are doing the talking for us.
Well, that's incredible. I'm sure when you look back at the past 3, years, 2.5 years, can you believe how much it's grown? And I mean, you could have never imagined COVID either. So
it's been an incredible challenge. It's been the greatest professional challenge in my career. First and foremost is getting OrthoLazer off the ground and being able to talk to the skeptics and getting them to convert, if you will, drink the Kool-Aid. But then, the opportunity to help, heal these patients that had the acute and chronic COVID has really been a real remarkable portion of my professional career.
Well, that is amazing. I've loved this conversation. Anytime you want to come on, but should I break the news that we're going to think about doing some fun videos together?
Oh, come on down.
We'll say it so that it happens,
Okay, well, the fro's a little compressed right now, so we'll expand the fro and then we'll just go. Whatever you need us to do. We'd love it.
Maybe I can have a fro going too. I don't know how I could do it, but
there's only one fro. Let me do the fro.
All right, fine. I'll find something else.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'll put all of your contact information when I post this, but is there a particular place that people should go to find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm everywhere, guys. You can find me on LinkedIn. I really love LinkedIn. It's a great professional network. I've tried to provide as much education and counsel as possible. We're on Facebook for all you old people out there too. And then for the kids, we're on Instagram too. I don't do TikTok. I'm not doing videos anytime soon for music, but you never know.
Well, I'm going to hold you to the complete opposite of that. I'm coming in with a boombox.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I love it.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for all that you're doing for the community. We really appreciate it, and that you continue to educate and heal. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, you're doing a remarkable job too, Danielle. Keep it up. It's so great to hear the spirit and all the wonderful things that are happening around Lowell and all these great communities. So thank you for all you do as well.
Oh, well, much appreciated. I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right,
take care.
Bye. You too.
The Coalition for a Better Acre invests in communities, developing stable neighborhoods, and building futures. Since day one, Enterprise Bank has been CBA's leading local funder because Enterprise understands commercial lending, how to streamline the process, and make it easy, serving as a trusted advisor and partner. Whatever your idea of success, Enterprise can help get you there. Enterprise Bank. Create real success. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.